I very much welcome the fact that the UK Parliament has finally ruled out a no-deal Brexit. That would have been, today the CBI said, like taking a sledgehammer to the UK economy. It would not have been good for Gibraltar, or indeed for the rest of the European Union. But let's be very clear. These are times of flux, the sort of likes of which we have never seen in modern Britain and in modern democracy. One day the government moves a motion and whips in favour of it, and then loses and whips against it. So we have not yet seen what the final shape of Brexit, if indeed Brexit happens, will look like. So we must still prepare for every single eventuality.
And actually the motion did state that a no-deal Brexit is the default setting.
Indeed, there is still the possibility of what you might call a technical or accidental no deal. So we have to be alive to the fact that until the Withdrawal Act is changed and the date of the 29th of March at 11 p.m. is expunged from it, that still remains a date which we are moving and propelling against, which we would be leaving the European Union on.
According to her commitments, there's a third vote tomorrow. They go back, Parliament goes back to vote for an extension. That's not really something you favour, though, is it?
So what the motion from the government says is that tomorrow Parliament will vote for an extension to the 30th of June, as long as there has been a withdrawal agreement approved before that date. Now, it is possible that a withdrawal agreement or the withdrawal agreement will not be agreed before that date. It is possible that the European Union may seek to extract concessions from the United Kingdom for such an extension or a longer extension. It is possible and indeed necessary for there to be European parliamentary elections in the United Kingdom and Gibraltar if the Parliament is constituted and the United Kingdom is still a member. So the permutations are still very live. We still don't know how the British Parliament will vote tomorrow, and we know that we can no longer rely on the government having a majority in the House for anything, not just for the withdrawal agreement.
You seem to be very cautious, but are you more optimistic now that you were perhaps an hour ago?
Look, I still think that the best option for Gibraltar is for us to remain in the European Union. How we bring that about, whether it is through the mechanism which I prefer, which is that of a revocation, or whether there is a referendum and a further people's vote. Some people call it a second referendum. I don't call it that. I think it would be a different referendum, not a replay of the first. Or whether indeed the collective madness that seems to have gripped the political class in the United Kingdom comes to an end in some other way, and we're able to go back to the United Kingdom being a leader in Europe and the bastion of political stability. I still can't tell you how it is that that comes about, or indeed what the result of tomorrow's votes in Parliament will be.
2 years ago, to the day, Theresa May said no deal was better than a bad deal. You supported the fact that there would be a deal. You supported her deal. Do you still do so today?
Well, look, I only support the withdrawal agreement that the Prime Minister has negotiated in the context of us having to involuntarily leave the European Union, because in that context, it's better to leave with that deal than with no deal at all, because that is like bringing a sledgehammer to the UK economy and indeed would be very damaging to the Gibraltar economy. So for that reason, if there is to be a departure from the European Union, I would of course still support the withdrawal agreement or a withdrawal agreement. I know that in the withdrawal agreement, I have protected Gibraltar's position insofar as is reasonably possible for all the reasons I've already indicated. But what do I prefer? I prefer for us to stay in the European Union, and tomorrow all eyes are on Parliament, because any outcome is possible, and it is indeed possible that tomorrow we may see Parliament seeing that the 30th of June is to keep the pressure on and to perhaps have to make concessions in the context of an extension, which would not be good for the United Kingdom. There can be no concessions on Gibraltar. Gibraltar will not stand for it. They can be demanded by the European Union as a whole or by Spain. But it is possible that the UK may realise that the best way out of this mess is to revoke the Article 50 notification and then decide what it's going to do without the pressure of time and the pressure of the European Union parliamentary elections being imposed on this process.